Dashboards provides the external interface data connection to expose data ranges in your workbook, so that you can move data into and out of SWF files. By combining these connections with additional code, you can enable dashboards to provide information to each other. In this tutorial, you will create external interface connections for two dashboards, one set up to provide data to the other. You will then export the files as HTML, copy and paste the relevant code from the exported files into a third HTML file that is set up to enable communication between them, and test the connection. Note that this tutorial was recorded using SAP Business Objects Dashboards 4.0, Build 14.0.0.760. To navigate, use the viewer controls or follow the on-screen instructions, if available. Start by opening the provider dashboard. Click Open. Select the U.S. Revenue Provider EICXLF file. Click Open. Note that the dashboard contains a map of the U.S. and state-related data revenue. The map is set up as a selector. Create an external interface connection for the dashboard to expose the data range. Click Data. Select Connections. Click the Add list. Select External Interface Connection. Add a new definition, arranged by row or column, and bind it to the cells where the selector inserts the selected data. Click plus. Click in the range name text box. Type US map data, and then click the range type list. Select row/column. Click the button to the right of the range text box. Note that the relevant cells are already selected. Click OK. By default, the definition is set up with read access, which is the appropriate setting for a data provider. Click Close. Save your changes and export the dashboard as HTML. Click Save. Click File. Click Export. Select HTML. Type US Revenue Provider EIC.html, and then click Save. Next, open the Consumer Dashboard. Click Open. Select the US Revenue Consumer EICXLF file. Click Open. Click Yes. Note that the dashboard contains a chart that displays the data inserted by the selector. Create a second external interface connection for the dashboard to expose the data range. Click Data. Select Connections. Click the Add list. Select External Interface Connection. Add the definition, arranged by row or column, and bind it to the same cells. Also, define the access for the definition as write, to enable the dashboard to consume the data from the provider. Click plus. Click in the range name text box. Type US map data, and then click the range type list. Select row/column. Click the button to the right of the range text box. Click OK. Click the access list. Select Write. Click Close. Save your changes and export the dashboard as HTML. Click Save. Click File. Click Export. Select HTML. Type US Revenue Consumer EIC.html, and then click Save. Click Close. Click Yes. Next, open the file that contains the code for the combined dashboard in Notepad, for editing. Right-click the Activity EIC Code HTML file. Click Open with. Select Notepad. Note that the code includes a place for the code from both provider and consumer dashboards, in addition to other code that defines how they communicate. Open the HTML file for the provider dashboard in Notepad, copy the relevant code, and paste it into the file for the combined dashboard. Right-click the US Revenue Provider EIC HTML file. Click Open with. Select Notepad. Click the cursor at the beginning of the object tag. Press Shift and click the cursor at the end of the object tag. Click Edit. Select Copy. Click the cursor in the document. Click Edit. Select Paste. Edit the movie name to the same name used in the rest of the code. Double-click My Movie Name. Type US Map Provider, and then click Elsewhere to commit the change. Now, repeat the entire process to add the code for the consumer dashboard to the combined dashboard. Open the file in Notepad. Right-click the US Revenue Consumer EIC HTML file. Click Open with. Select Notepad. Copy the relevant code. Click the cursor at the beginning of the object tag. Press Shift and click the cursor at the end of the object tag. Click Edit. Select Copy. Paste the code into the HTML file. Click the cursor in the document. Click Edit. Select Paste. Update the movie name. Double-click My Movie Name. Type US Map Consumer, and then click Elsewhere to commit the change. Finally, save your changes and launch the dashboard to test the connection. Click File. Select Save. Click Close. Double-click Activity EIC Code HTML file. Choose a state in the provider part of the dashboard to change what displays in the chart that consumes the data. Select Minnesota. Note that the two individual dashboards are communicating with each other. You have successfully created external interface data connections. This is the end of the tutorial.